Ready, sink it. That's the Jean-Pierre trick. You gotta do what's
clap.
it called? Yeah, the clap, man. Dude, so go ahead, we're talking about an intro.
No, man. Just your
What, is
thing.
this
Are we doing?
what are we doing? Are we doing
Which one are we
BC
doing?
Poppas?
Sure.
Are we doing?
Yeah, let's do that one.
All
Let's do
right.
the BC Poppas because we can always throw like the back end on the other one or something. I was thinking about that, like half of it on one. Or half
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
we can do that. Yeah, it's all good. All right, hey, this is first time ever BC Poppas. Why they put the X? When they say like X something, it's
like times. I don't know. It's
together.
not times,
You know, they're like
yeah.
it's
with,
like a
I don't know.
collabo or something.
Yep.
So yeah, we got the Supreme Grappling Systems podcast X. The BC Poppas. I was thinking about this. I should call it the Lone Poppa because, hey, our expert, Coach Shoujo,
Jeez, man.
is
That
not
guy's been
around.
slacking. Is this your first one here in the States?
Yeah, this is the
That's your
first one
current
I've done. I've been planning to do stuff, but yeah, it just it hasn't happened. We've been
busy,
planning, do the thing, but yeah, no, it's cool. So man, we just got done training a little bit, light day, but I don't know, man. So are you training for something right now?
Yeah, actually, I am. I am going to compete April 13th in San Jose at IBJJF event.
Okay.
Trying to get a couple IBJJF events in before Worlds. Because
Yeah.
I need to get points in order to qualify.
Okay.
So as a black belt, I need to I'm going to try to get 3 events in before that. And
Okay.
hopefully qualify for Worlds.
So
that's the plan.
BC Poppas, those of you guys who are listening to the podcast, here with Kyle Rideau. So Kyle's been to BC, Bacolod City of Smiles 2 times now.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah. First time did a seminar over there at 6100. Richie came along, Richie and Jordan. Then you guys came back in January. We all went together from here and just kind of were at the event.
Jordan got to compete.
Jordan
did his first ever jiu-jitsu tournament, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Isn't that funny? I mean, it's cool that his first one you got to be like in Philippines or something like that.
I think that's why he did. No pressure from anything at home.
Yeah, and then
I actually like competing away from home a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Just travel, it gives you an excuse.
You've done that a lot.
Yeah.
Like you've been all over, and how is that? Like competing just by yourself?
Well, luckily I've had Richie pretty much everywhere I went with me, so it's not necessarily by myself. But still, I've done both, right? Like when I competed and fought, I'd fight at home or compete at home, and then there's a lot of more eyes, and that's awesome too, right?
Yeah.
A lot of support. But it's also cool to be the unknown and just go and do your thing somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Someone else's home. So
when you go to like another country and you go and do a competition, do you also try to train in other people's places, or not necessarily, or?
Not really. We kind of go there, compete, and then vacation. Really, to be honest, use it as an excuse to kind of see the country, see the city where we're at, and kind of. Sometimes it's been a quick turnaround, only a couple days after, or day before, day after type thing, and then travel plans get messed up. So, haven't had the chance to go out and train as many places I'd like. We trained when we were in Japan. Didn't really train in Europe.
Right.
I haven't trained out there before. Competed out there a couple times, but haven't trained out there.
Right. Is that in your like hopes for the future? Do you want to do a lot more traveling with jiu-jitsu and competing, or seminars, or is that something that? I mean, what do you see? Like, let's say next 5 years.
Yeah, I think a bit of both, right? I'd like to still compete for a little bit, at least maybe the next couple of years, year or two. See how that goes. Definitely want to continue to travel and host seminars, just train at other places and do things like that. Yeah. I think that'd be awesome. I mean, we got the expert trying to set some stuff up for late June. So him and Char are working on that. Talked to them last night as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
I think now you've been again like Europe and Asia. Is there a preference there of like things that you think will open up, or like, or just you're excited about, or I don't know?
Yeah, like I said, didn't really get to train in Europe.
Okay.
So definitely excited about going back to the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Going back to Bacolod and kind of branching out from there, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. We've been there twice, but it's kind of home away from home already to us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
even Richard said, so when we going back? When we going? So,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool in that aspect, right? Everyone's awesome there.
Yeah. I don't know like what it is about Bacolod. I mean, so when we moved out there, my family and I, or my wife and I, it was just Judah, our oldest son, was like a year and a half, and like I'd been there twice before I moved there, and I don't know, like it's a different kind of place, like compared to the rest of the Philippines, And I'm not saying it's better or something like that, but I mean, there's something about it, and the pace, or like just like the people, I mean, it's definitely, not taking anything away from Manila, but sometimes I feel like when I'm in Manila, like, I mean, the things that I do there, I could do in San Francisco or LA or whatever it is,
I think that's the parallel, right, that I get with that too, is typically when we travel outside of the U.S., we're looking for something different, right?
Right.
Manila's kind of like a bigger city now, right?
Yeah.
So when you go there, it's kind of like, oh, okay, nice restaurant.
Right.
Oh, a lot of traffic.
Right.
Oh, I could go do the same things like
Yeah.
you just said, right? That I can do in San Francisco for the most part. So.
Yeah, I think for like, I guess it depends where you are in your life too. Like,
True.
if you want to party or something like that. But I feel like, I mean, you can do that in Bacolod too, But I feel when I'm living in the Philippines, living in Bacolod, I will go to Manila to like eat at Chili's or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm just like, I just need some old American food. But it's funny because Chili's, I don't eat at Chili's here. But I'm there, Chili's, you know what I mean?
Like, all right.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
funny,
in the fort, they've got like a Pig's hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the halal guys. I mean, like all the stuff that was like hyped up over here, they have that there. And I mean, it's good like if you live there, but if you live here or like you go back and forth a lot, it's like I'd rather eat Filipino food or something that they don't have over here because I could when I come back here, I could have that.
I mean, us, we eat in a salt every day over there, man. It's just.
So you like when we were over in Bacolod, you had in a salt several times. You got to try bok choy this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of that?
It was good. It was good. Again, that's when we sent you that soup number 5.
Yeah. Soup number 5. You got to try soup number 5 next time.
It was funny. I even messed with my mother-in-law about that one too. And she's like, "No, I got a number 2 because she actually got soup that day from a fuzz spot."
Right.
So she thought I was talking about that, and then like a day later, she's like, "Dude, I just got your text. Like, I just registered.
That's soup number
Don't
5.
eat that."
Yeah. Man, for well, I mean, if it's Bacolod people listening, like you already know what soup number 5 is. But for other guys, actually, I really don't. It's either testicles or I don't know if it's penis. I don't know. Or all of it. It's all of that together. That's the soup number 5, And I'm wondering, like, they don't have soup number 1, 2, 3, 4 on the menu. They just got soup number 5. But you guys, you also had we had the kansi.
Yep.
That's something that's, well, those things are uniquely stuff that you'll find Ilonggo food. So, and my parents are Tagalog, so I didn't grow up eating that. So it was kind of cool. Like when I moved there, like it's
different.
Yeah, different. So now we're like snobs because like you go to Manila and they'll have an inasal restaurant. I'll be like, that ain't the real thing. It might taste good too, but you're like, that ain't the real thing, So yeah, I don't know, man. Do you like Filipino food here or there? Is there a difference? Do you see?
I actually don't eat much Filipino food here.
Okay.
Right. Used to a little bit, like different thing, like Gateway Kitchen, things like that. Like real quick when I lived in this area. But now that I moved to the East Bay, I don't eat much Filipino food at all. Maybe once a month, the wife will make something, right?
Right. Your wife's Filipino.
Yep.
So she, as a Filipino, does she cook like
like once a month when it's special
Right.
request stuff, some torta or some beef stick. But that's really that's their two go-tos, right?
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't
Ain't
I don't
nothing
mind
wrong
those.
with
Yeah, I
that,
don't
right?
mind those at all. But yeah, not too much here.
Yeah.
Not too much here. Again, I wouldn't go there and get a burger though either. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Yeah, great point. I think when you live there, like for us, we'll get a burger or we'll get pizza, but like you find your spots.
for sure.
I mean, when we lived there for like 2 years and we didn't know where the good pizza was.
Yeah.
Like we were oh shoot. Yeah, we were it took us a while to figure out like where all the spots that we wanted to either eat or hang out at, and honestly it took us a while to like make a lot of close relationships, but we honestly jiu-jitsu was huge for that. I mean it met Jojo through jiu-jitsu, and then everybody else that you met, and those are pretty much the people that we hang out with. If we start hanging out with you and after a while, either we hang out with you because you did jiu-jitsu, or pretty soon you're gonna do jiu-jitsu.
You don't really have a choice.
That's right. You don't have a
keep up in the
choice.
conversations.
Yeah,
You
man.
gotta get started. Yeah. No, shit. You guys did the groundwork, right? We just come in and get to benefit from your relationships, which is kind of awesome.
Well, I mean, I like so you and Richie and Jordan, you guys were able to do a little more vacationing on Negros.
Yeah.
You guys went around to a little south. How'd you find that?
It was cool. It was cool. It was dope that a group of the guys from the gym were able to come with us, right, or actually take us because we didn't we didn't know where we were going or what was up. So it was dope, man. Got to see a little bit more, like you said, of the island.
Yeah.
Got to live a little bit of that island lifestyle out there on the beach. So that was pretty cool too, right? Just got the house out there and just chilled.
Yeah, I mean when you're in Bacolod, like it's coastal but you don't really go to the beach in the city.
Yeah.
It's just like a port or something like that. There's a place they said used to be pretty nice outside, but it's now it's a little bit dirtier, more people and stuff. And Jojo will tell me like, hey, it wasn't like that when I was growing up, but so now you got to go a little bit out of town to get the real beach life of the island. And it's cool because you could go north or south. Marsha and I, we're gonna try to there's a place, it's actually part of Cebu, it's called Bantayan, but it's the port where you go there is from Cadiz, where Don is from.
Okay.
So like you can just jump on now they have a Roro, a big boat where you can put your car on, but before it was like what they call a pup boat, right? So it's just like got outriggers on it, and right, I mean they got like the regular plastic Bacolod Filipino chairs, hammered into like the oh man, God, you had a good experience with those chairs,
Don't ask Shar about that. I think I have pictures.
Listen, man, people break those chairs all the time, especially if it's wet on the ground, then they slip. But so you can get on these pup boats and get out there. And what's funny, right, is, I mean, it's just like not a 2x4, but 2x10 or whatever. And you just walk up. It's like walking the plank, right?
Yeah.
So, but people got to get their bikes over there, right? Dudes will bring their motorbike up on the plank onto these places, and they will hold them there, and they'll, when they get to the island, they'll pull them off. And I'm just like, how does that thing not drop? There's not enough room for the bike and you, the guy. But man, Filipinos, man, they make it happen, But anyways, we're trying to go out there, and I think when we get back, and it's real nice. It's an area where it was also. Do you remember the typhoon? Is it? Well, I forget what the name of it was, but I got to this place Tacloban. It was the last big typhoon that, like, I mean, it was a national emergency, and it was several years ago. But this island, it's like the name of a lady or something. We got people breaking in over here. But anyways, Yolanda.
Okay.
Typhoon Yolanda, right? and this place got messed
Destroyed
up.
from it.
Yeah, man. People were like living off of like coconuts and stuff because
Is that one of the
you
spots
know.
where a lot of the relief stuff? 'Cause I saw a lot of
Yeah,
like the documentaries and stuff
yeah,
that came in.
definitely.
And,
I mean, there was a lot of places. Luckily, Bacolod's always it's pretty protected because it's got mountains on one side and islands before it. So we have never had a bad, at least as I've been there, like something really bad, like with
yeah.
the typhoons. But this place really got messed up, and so my wife she started a weaving project out there, so helping like fisher, like a lot of the people their main way to feed themselves. I mean, literally feed themselves is fish, but also like they sell
To make
fish,
money. Yeah, yeah.
fishermen, But their boats were wrecked, stuff like that. So like they started bringing in trainers over there to teach people who knew how to weave, like different ways to weave, and then to make products and different kind of stuff. So, well, we went over there, several times, and I mean, it's just, I mean, beautiful white sand, I mean, clear blue water, and it's a cool spot.
Yeah.
It's a cool spot. So we're trying to get out there again. But next time you guys come out, I mean, that's a possibility. It's not a long ride.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So yeah, I mean, Negros is a great place to come hang out. But I'm glad you guys enjoy it. It's a fun time. But so, Kyle, you got two daughters,
Yep.
and your wife also works in the city.
Yeah,
Right
she
here in
does.
San Francisco.
Right now she does. Yeah, she's actually
Right.
working on trying to get.
So you're you live in the East Bay though.
Yeah.
So to come and train out here, you commute. You work out in the East Bay for the most part, right? And your kids go to school out in the East Bay, right?
Yeah, everything's out there as of now. About 2 years ago, we sold a house over here in Visitation Valley in San Francisco and moved about 40 miles outside of the city. Yeah.
And is that so? What I'm learning, like living back here, we talk about it all the time, like bringing our kids to school. Like I mean, it's in the Philippines, luckily we're blessed enough to have help. Where like someone can either pick my kids up if I can't do it or whatever it is, or everything we got is so close, like to each other. Everything we figured. Yeah. So it's super simple. Like our gym is right near our house, and this kid's school was right near there. But here, man, it's like, my wife's in school again, so like I drop one son off, another son off, a wife off, pick up the wife, and then the sports stuff. I mean, you got the same deal. You got two kids in school, preschool, or daycare.
No, we actually we planned our schedules out for the most part, so we have just regular home care. Like
okay.
So it's either my wife's off, I'm off, or my in-law watches her one day, my mom watches her 2 days. So, it's literally like an Excel file schedule type thing, with time.
You're organized.
You got to be at what time. Yeah. I have like 7 different alarms on my phone, so I make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing at the time. But yeah. Luckily, my daughter's only into like one extracurricular activity right now, so she's not, with the 2 boys where you go.
I mean, as soon as she's getting. Yeah. How old is she now?
She's gonna be 7 in June.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, is that something that? Do you have, or does your wife have ideas like what activities you want her to do? Like I'm like, oh, I want you to play basketball. But I don't want to force him, but like I want him to do jujitsu, like things that I like. Do you guys have things for her that you guys like? I want her to do this.
Initially, yeah, like I'd wanted her to do something like some self-defense based thing, right? Jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, something, right? And then really just. As she's grown up, I really tried to like let her figure out what she wants to do. I mean, it sounds cliche to say or whatever, but as long as she's doing something, I'm happy, right?
Right.
So like right now, she wants to get into soccer.
Okay.
I don't know much about soccer, but cool. Let's buy a ball and start kicking it around, and then let's get you signed up, right?
Yeah.
She wants to do that and Tahitian dancing.
Okay.
So, I definitely don't know nothing about dancing.
You're gonna show it. So, you want the skirt on?
I mean,
do you think when you see your kids growing up, or as they're, you have a baby, you have a young daughter, but do you see them growing up the same way you grew up, or like, is it a different time? Like, just when you see, like,
for sure, yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how much has changed since I've grown up, right? And it makes me feel like, oh shit, I'm old. Right?
You ain't as old as me, man.
But it's a completely different time, right? There's no. I used to leave the house at 6 years old and go play with neighborhood kids and come back. It was the same thing like everyone's heard of, right? The street lights. When the street lights come on, you got to be home, right? I don't let them go outside in the front, to be honest. Without it's a couple of reasons, right? Because they're girls, but then also the times have changed so much now. It's no matter where you're at, there's so much crazy stuff going on. Right?
When you grew up, did you know your neighbors?
Yeah,
like the neighborhood kids and stuff like that.
Knew the neighbors by name. Like I still remember when I was like 2, at the house that I was originally like where I was born, pretty much. 2 or 3, something like that. The '89 earthquake when it hit.
Oh yeah.
And being outside with our neighbors at the park,
I was in high school.
I was 3, bro. Yeah.
Damn it! No.
Okay. I mean, I remember going outside with the neighbors. Kind of, there's a park right across the street. Just kind of everyone there until everything settled down and stuff. And it was super community based. Right? Yeah. Everyone knew everybody. Everyone looked out for everybody. Yeah. Now, like I said, I moved about 2 years ago. Met the neighbors right away. They were really nice.
Yeah.
Hey, came over, introduced.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to them maybe twice since then.
Right.
Like, and that's just how everyone is now.
Yeah. Definitely. I find it interesting that, when I was coaching basketball, I think, Marsha was pregnant when I did my last, coaching JV before we moved to the Philippines. And I think that she was coaching. I think I was doing my first head coaching when she was pregnant, and then, I already had a baby for my second year before we moved to the Philippines. But I always found it not odd, but I just thought, wow, all of these kids got all these leagues they joined and clubs and things like that. And I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Unless you went to YMCA or something like that.
You played outside with your friends.
You played outside. You went to the park. Or you played at school, you went early, or you stayed late, and you hope that if maybe you made a team or something like that. If your school had a team, at an elementary age, not everyone did. You need to be in junior high for that. But I mean, at least in my time, and I was like, man, these kids got a lot of. I mean, dude, they've been coached. The people have been teaching them plays since they were young, stuff like that, right? And I was always, because I didn't have a kid that age, I was just coaching them. I was like, man, I ain't gonna be like these parents.
Oh, geez.
Man, I would lose friends. I'd have older friends, and their kids would get into sport, and never see them again, right? Yeah. So it's so funny. But now, you're like, hey, you traded tonight? I'm like, hey, man, I want to, but I got this practice. Then I got to go to this, and then, I was laughing because I was texting my buddy, to get on the March Madness tournament we're doing. And I was like, oh, you seen so-and-so? I was like, nah, I ain't seen him. This how you doing? What's going on with Mikey? I'm like, man, I barely see Mikey. If he doesn't come to Judah's games, I ain't going to see him, because, it's just, I mean, it can take over
for sure.
The weekend, the Saturdays, the games they play, and stuff like that. So, the only way you can escape it is if you don't want your kid to not play anything.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's the times have changed, man. I remember I had my best friend growing up played basketball for an AAU team, right? But there was one AAU team in the city,
right?
And they played against other cities and had to travel, and I would travel with them and stuff, but. Yeah, now there's 20 in the city, and it's it's crazy. And
well, you played baseball, right? So at a young age, baseball there was always leagues, right? Yeah. So that was now if it wasn't in season, did you have another?
So there was a traveling team that I played for, but it was more of a NorCal based thing. It wasn't even Bay Area. It was a NorCal.
It's not like it is now.
Yeah, definitely not. There's tryouts. You try out for the team. If you make that team, you can kind of play year round. Like there's the fall season, that's off season for that, right? And then a traveling team where you travel and play other places too. Yeah, but it was, at the time highly competitive because on a baseball team you got 13, 14 guys on it, right? So you're talking about all these schools and teams that come together and try out for that.
So let me ask you this: what do you think when you made that team? Because you try out and things like that, and it's it's a bigger pool than just your school, and what did it feel like to make the team? Like when you figure out, hey, they called you or told your parents, hey,
Yeah, it felt good. I think every time because we had to try it a couple times. Like every season, you have to keep trying out, right? Even if you were the one there, I think you still, you belong, but then it was still kind of the nervousness of getting a phone call, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't like excitement. It was relief that I get to keep playing.
Right.
That's all I really wanted to do at that time was keep playing ball.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if our team was trash. Didn't matter if our team was the best team. I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest thing during that time and getting out of Daly City with the It's always winter here, right? So, I mean, we get to go get some better weather and play baseball. So
I think that's the other thing that I like, wanting to let the kids experience is like that feeling of like competition, but you're not sure what's going to happen, or like, how do I stack up, and like, how bad do I want to do this? And, I don't know. I feel like that's valuable. And I also like to see them like succeed at something. It's like, if you don't try, you don't put yourself out there,
you never know. Yeah.
So, my older son, he's playing basketball and they had a couple games. Like, I mean, he's still learning, so he's not super consistent, but he loves it. And he's had a couple games this year where like, made some big shots down the end, towards the end in tight games and like, or D'd up in like tight games and stuff. And I was like, man, that's why, just to get that feeling of like, winning a close game or like working hard and being like kind of nervous and not sure, but then, you win.
For sure.
I remember when he did his last jiu-jitsu tournament. Like the previous two tournaments, like he won some matches, but he got like, I think, silver and bronze, and he was kind of like bummed, He wanted to win gold. He thought he could have beat those guys, and he ended up they had this weird thing where there wasn't that many of them, but they all had to like round robin it. They weren't just going to pass one guy on. So he lost his first match, and like, and he was winning, and then he lost, and like the look on his face. We got a picture. He's like, oh my gosh, because he was like, I'm winning gold. That's it. I'm winning gold. And it ends up that the other guy moved on. He had to go with another guy. And if he beats that guy, he can go on again. Right.
Yeah.
And so he won. And then when he beat the guy for gold, like, he was like elated. Like, he was just like, yes. And
that's awesome.
I mean, again, it doesn't matter that it was just like, for me, like whatever tournament it was just to see that like experience of and then the defeat, but then the redemption and like, hey, I can do this, or hey, I didn't die, or whatever it is, And I think that's a great thing about being a dad is like being able to watch these moments.
For sure.
So
thinking back to like youth sports and stuff, I think, in hindsight now, I gained the most from it when I was on that crappy team. Right? When I was on that team where, one of the big things for me was always the integrity of the sport, right? Even as a kid, it was really weird. But, like running out to your position, hustling in and out in between innings, all that stuff.
Right.
People are dragging their gloves down because their team's not that great. But I think that's what allowed me to kind of excel later on it is because of that. The aspect of carrying no matter what the score, time, anything is, right? Like the last inning, we're getting beat by 10. I'm still diving for that ball in the hole, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think I Like I've been on some really bad teams, like really bad teams, but teams that I worked hard to get onto, but we were just really bad. And but I remember my coach saying one time, and I mean these are cliched things, but it's how you take them.
Yep.
But he was like, "Hey, play with pride. Okay, play with pride, man. You know, you might you're gonna lose this game, but like, you know, you're out there.
Yep.
You know, you're gonna play with
You
pride.
lay down and
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like, you know, I remember, and that's some things I used to say to, you know, when I would coach guys. I found myself saying a lot of the same things, but the things that like hit me,
That
you
stuck,
know.
exactly, yeah.
And I think the other thing I tell this a lot to like, you know, different people that are I'll meet. Now I'm meeting a lot of parents.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll find that like every parent got like hoop dreams for their kid. Like and I'm like, you know, hey man, let's just enjoy this time. Not everybody goes on to the next level, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
and I mean, it starts now, right? The junior high level, and then to high school.
Right.
I mean, it's not even getting to the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
literally the next level.
It's and I see that, but I try to tell them I do want my kid to be good at something or be good at the thing he wants and to go as far as he can. But the main thing I want him to come away with, I usually tell these parents, is just that, like, you know, I want him to get a culture of practice.
Yep.
You know, just that the idea that, hey, if I want to get better at something,
you work hard at it.
Yeah. I can work hard. A buddy of mine was he wrestled for Indiana, and I think he even met Darren before because I think he was Rideau's wrestling coach for a while. When he was at George Mason or something like there's some out there in like that DC area. But anyways, I remember he telling me like he was from Chicago and he would tell me he did all the sports and his dad was like one of his coaches and all that, the normal thing. And he remember him telling me that his dad told him, he said, listen, I guarantee you, I promise you, if you work hard, you're going to improve. I can't guarantee you'll improve more than that guy or the same if that guy works just as hard as you. He might improve more, but you will improve if you put in the work. And I remember that, you know, and that was a time when I just started coaching freshman and JV basketball. And that's the thing I told him, and that's what I want, you know, my kids to understand that, like, man, you might not be as natural or gifted or physically gifted as these guys around you, but you can get better at anything. And the thing is, see, I didn't have coaching when I was real young. And, you know, I was around like athletes who I thought, oh, they must have been born that way. You know, like, damn, he good at everything. You know, like, he can play football, he can play basketball, you know. And I just knew I was naturally competitive, but I wasn't naturally like, I could throw the ball the farthest or whatever it was. And so I don't know why. I played and I would get a little better, but I never thought, no one ever told me, like, dude, just bust your ass, man.
We're talking about practice.
Yeah, we talking about practice. Not the game I love. We talking about practice. You know? Yeah, I mean, you know, so.
That's essentially what it comes down to, right? And I think, you know, all that ties back to jiu-jitsu, right? I know we're talking about jiu-jitsu a bunch, but a couple things, right? Like never giving up and stuff. In jiu-jitsu, that's what's great about it, right? Even if you're down, if there's time on the clock, you still have a chance.
Yes, still have a chance,
For the most part, you have a chance at all times, which is awesome. And that's what I like about it, right? The biggest thing, though, I think, that happens with kids in any sport is they compare themselves to the next person, right? And then at which rate this person's getting better, I'm not getting better at that rate or whatever it may be. You got to control what you can control, right? Which is how hard you work and how much time you put in.
Well, so what is the level then of when you say because we don't want to compare, but we do want to show like, hey, look at this guy, you know, but not like maybe the work they put in or something like that, or the
I think, I think that's a bigger example, right? It's how hard someone's working as opposed to what they can actually do. Right. It might be the guy that's not the greatest on the team, but he's busting his butt trying to get better, right? He's the first one when we're doing suicides.
Right.
Whoever it is, right? Try
Right.
it. Just because you have the talent doesn't mean you can slack off on those type of things, right? Which is really easy to do. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's super easy to do whenever you do have the talent or you are developing at a little bit faster pace, right? But yeah, we're talking about kids too, so you got to think about like, okay, yeah, the kid doesn't want to run because he's
Yeah.
But that one that is going to turn out to be something, maybe not in basketball,
right,
it might be something else.
Right.
So
I mean, I think that's a good. I had a so my oldest Judah, he plays on
7 different teams.
Yeah, right, he does. But his one league, he was they have like an A team, a B team, C team, or like a double B team or whatever, right? So
again, something else that's changed. We had one team.
Yeah, one team. Yeah. Well, I mean, because you had a tryout, right?
Exactly.
And then
now everyone participates.
Yeah. So if you don't have enough, if you didn't make this team, we're gonna make a new team for you. And I mean, hey, what? I mean, not against it.
Yeah.
More work for not for the parents, but for the school or whatever. Anyways, so they had his school team that he plays on only has one team, and they're a small school, so their coach put him in not the A, the B, right? So they do pretty good. I mean, they're doing well, but some of these kids, they're there for fun.
Yeah.
They're not super into it. They don't play in clubs and things like that. And like my son, he's super into it, but this is his first year playing organized, so. They're all young, so like skill level, strength level, they're all about the same, A, B, whatever. Of course you got your great athletes in there, but so I had them. They beat with the one school, but then that same school their A team was playing, and we knew we had played with some of those kids in CYO and in the Daly City League, where some of them were on his team. So he was out playing baseball with his brother, and I'm watching these guys because I'm like, I watched that coach before. He's really good. I'm going to see what they're doing, and man, it was an exciting game, right? But I was like, these two guys right here, like these small guards, they've been playing a while, because they knew how to play, right? Now they wasn't necessarily better shooters than Judah or something like that, but like they knew how to play, they knew how to move, they knew how to get contact, So I called Judah in. I'm like, watch these guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, you play with this guy, but watch how they work with their team. Watch how their spacing is.
Yeah.
And I said, you're gonna get that the more you play.
Especially with the same people.
Yeah. And yes, you're used to your guys. Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's where you want to get to.
Yeah.
You can do the same moves, but look how they work on the floor and stuff together.
So how, in a team sport like that, like basketball, right, you have a lot of experience in it, and I definitely don't, right? I can barely make a living. But when there's 5 people out there, your spacing and all that stuff relies on other people as well, right?
Right.
So with Judah, for example, right, where he is not in and out, but he's not here year round.
Yeah.
So how would that? It'll be a little bit harder for him, right? It's a little bit handicapped based on not playing with these people all year, or
that's so like right now, right? He joined a club, and him and only one other guy or 2 guys who have not been playing with this club the last 2 years.
Okay.
Right. So these guys have familiarity, right? And so the spacing is one of the things that Judah just has a problem with normally, because he give me the ball, so he'll go too close to guys, right? So I'm watching them in the club, and like guys will be like, they like him, but they're like, hey, yo, spread the floor, like, because hey, you got to keep the spacing. They already know, probably they've been yelled at, and
right?
And it's like you're too. I mean, you don't do a pass like this to each other, right? But so he's again. I mean, I didn't learn this stuff till college, to be honest with you. You had natural, you figure it out. But then when I was coached on it and then required. So, like, if I play with my buddies all the time or my team, I figure it out.
Yeah.
But if I'm also coached on it, now
you're supposed to.
I can play with anybody.
Yeah.
Who knows how to play, and So those are the things what I think are valuable is when you get coached is that yes, there's good to be with your buddies because then they know what you're capable of. You're not like I had my buddy, my best friend I played with. Like if I got blocked, he was not gonna pass it to me again because he knew I was gonna shoot that ball. He's like, no, you gotta calm down for a second. But he also knew that like there was like if somebody got me, like, and he knew I could get him, he would give me a chance to get him, get him back. He's all right, I'll set you up, get him back. You can get this guy, let him know. But there was times, again, like, I remember they'd be like, don't get John the ball. He gonna shoot it for sure. He's gonna shoot it, So, they see that in your eye where you're like, man, like, I'm gonna get this guy back,
That's called the Buddy Hield effect.
Yeah.
Cool from anywhere. So is it frustrating? Like, so say you teach him all the right things, all the spacing, but he comes back and plays with, the B team squad,
right?
Which would like his school equivalent, right? And the other three, maybe one other guy knows what he's doing,
right?
And the other three don't.
I don't have a high expectation for them, so I'm just really looking at what Judah's doing. So I'm more like if I video him, I'll be like, he always wants to see his video. So like, oh yeah, sure. I'll be like, okay, so what do you think went right here?
You played as a kid, bro?
Oh man, yeah, sure. I'm like, hey, I'll tell you this: the thing that is great is he's way better than I was in sixth grade.
Yeah,
I mean, way better.
Yeah,
and.
So more like decision making, right? So like make the right, even though the end result's not the right thing. Maybe the guy dropped the ball, turnover, right?
So
but make the right decision at the time.
And so that kid there, like, well, hey, it was good. He was open. You pass it to him, But then there's
wise choice.
Wise choice. Wise choice supplements. It's sponsored by. No, I'm just kidding. It's not
this
sponsored.
This podcast is not sponsored, but Wise Choice supplements.
Is not
if you'd
sponsored.
Like to reach out to
but
us.
If you want to sponsor us, we will make the wise choice.
We will make the wise choice.
But I mean, back to the frustration. I try not to be too frustrated. I don't get frustrated by that. I also want him to feel what it's like to not lose, but like to have hardship and like to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, and then to choose like, hey, if the game's on the line, maybe it's better that if I can't get it to him when the guy's gonna succeed, maybe I take it or maybe I get the foul or something like that. But it's I mean, I'm not saying that's the right thing, but I just feel like that's the things I'll show him. I'm like, okay, look, you passed it to him, and that was good. But did you pass it to him because you're setting him up, or did you pass it to him because you got caught and you had nothing to do? And then, did it work? Just worked out for you, or So those are the kind of things that I try. But I also watch how much I critique him because I want to see, like, is he, like, taking it good or taking it bad? I mean, he's 12 years old now, so he's getting a little talking back and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know how's it, you're not at 12 years old yet, but is there talking back?
Of course, man. Of course. She thinks she's 25 already, man.
Well, here's one thing I wanted to ask you. So, Kalea's got, I've seen her videos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So is that something she makes videos and you guys do it with her? I've seen both you and your wife doing it. Is that something that she likes to do?
She does. She likes to do them. She goes in spurts, right? She'll bust out 3 or 4 videos and post them out there and then not want to do any for a while and then be like, oh, I forgot. Hey, can we do a video? Or like we did a podcast, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, can we do a podcast? I was like, sure, like. We just kind of roll with it and do whatever she wants and put it out, and more for memories for us, not for anything besides that. But it's kind of cool to see. There's like baby videos that she has on there. And sometimes she'll get in moods and just, go through that black hole and watch 2 hours of videos of herself. Just to kind of reflect and stuff. So it's kind of cool.
I think it's cool. I think that again, it's another thing to the difference in time.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you have these things, and I think that
We buried time capsules, bro, in the backyard and dug them up.
Yeah.
Now they got videos on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, you can and you have a bunch of. Back in the day, you had to have like a camcorder or something like that.
Big old things.
Now with the phone, I mean, we got a lot of video of these guys, and it's kind of cool to see. Like, wow, I remember when they were this age, talking like that. You know, I think it's with the YouTube stuff. I think that it's cool in the sense of kids can be creative, and they can also learn to like kind of like put themselves out there, not be afraid to put themselves out there. I mean, but like anything, like we talked about with the team sports, you could overdo all these things, right? I mean, like I remember my wife was telling me about like some people see it or hearing these stories of kids who like they just want likes and like they do create, you know, or like
and the kid can't even be a kid anymore. You know, it's a business instead of a kid.
And then the parents get that. It's like the whole stage. The old day, remember the stage mom thing, like the pageant thing,
the pageant moms,
and you totally have stage parents for sports as well. You know, I mean, oh man, I've never seen this. Like, you get these moms who are all dolled up and like, you know, and then yelling at the other kids, like, or like, I mean, shouting when people shoot free throws, and I'm like. For the other team, I'm like,
why can't they just do
that? Why can't they do that? No, but I mean, it's so funny, and so you see all those. What
crazy.
Comes out of the parents,
crazy.
You know. Speaking of baseball, so I didn't tell you this, but I mean, you know, we talk all the time. But this just happened this weekend on the way to went to Bacolod for spend a night over there with some friends, but we stopped at American Canyon to watch one of Judah's cousins or the boys' cousins play baseball, Little League, right?
Oh, cool!
It's because James is so into it now, and so I was like, "Hey, man, let's go watch Quincy. You know, let's watch your cousin." Man, dude, we walk up, and it's like this opening day. I don't know, it's a big thing over there. They got 3 fields, and all this. Yeah, they got had the parade. But yo, we walk up. And I just look in the field. I see a gathering of like adults, right? And, you know, you see this posture. I'm like, oh, something's going down. This is more. We're far away. Like, yo, something's going down. These ones are like, you know, and posturing up, and sure enough, man, these dudes are like kind of in each other's face. People are holding them back. And they're like, come on, get out of here. And then one guy's like, yeah, at least my kid didn't give up the last run. Or like, and I'm like, dude, these are like 10-year-old kids. Yeah, man. And coaches, parents that are coaching, right?
Yeah.
And so I talked to my wife's, I guess my cousin-in-law or whatever it was. You know, we were close. I was like, yo, man, do you know these guys? Yeah, I know these guys. What happened? I was like, dude, they were about to fight, man. And so he starts asking around to hear the story. And, like, apparently, like, the 2 coaches, like, they know each other. So they kind of, so they kind of give each other a little bit of shit, you know, talk mess. And then, but the other guy who's new to the coaching was like, yo, why is this guy talking shit to us?
He didn't get the memo.
He goes, he was just like, let's go right out here right now. I'm like, man, I said, if that day comes where I'm doing that, I'm like, I failed, man. I failed somehow.
Yeah, it gets intense, man. I remember you playing high school ball, and like a rivalry game, right? Like it was a crosstown rival type thing. And it was my senior year. And my mom used to come to all my games, right? Just come out and support and, you know, cheer and stuff. Yeah. And so one of the guys from the other team's brothers was there supporting his, and he turned around and said something directly to my mom, right?
What?
Like something super vulgar to her, right?
What?
And then, you know, whatever, we're in the game, so I got to finish the game. We get through the game. We're walking off the field, and he says something else, like under his breath. And the guys that I played with were like brothers, you know, team, right? Stuff went down, man. Like my guy, my third baseman, went up there and did, you know, did his thing, and you know, didn't work out for the rest of the season after that. But luckily, it was late, and we only had 2 games left. But you know, my mom was their mom type thing, right?
Yeah, so they were on nobody.
But yeah, fans and parents especially are, it's ridiculous.
It's just it's a weird. I don't know. Again, because we didn't have all these leagues back in the day. I don't know if it's always been like that or what, but I'll go to these high school games too, and you sit with different parents, and I'm just thinking, man, I get being emotional and things like that, but especially I think part of it too is if like you didn't play or something, and you're like, I'm like, dude, these guys,
that's a lot of
they're kids, man, and now I understand. Like, I was telling you the other day when some kid pushed Judah and stuff like that. I'm mad at that kid.
Yeah.
Kids, you'll go as far as your coach allows you to go.
Yep.
Unless you have like a really bad kid or whatever. But also like, hey man, things get heated and guys get mad. Guys don't want to get burned and like, and like, and you find this, that got bumpy, or whatever, So I get that, but so I'm not gonna be mad at a kid, I think I want to teach my kid to like keep himself safe out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, at that age too, it's the coaches, the referees, the responsibility.
Yeah, is there?
Right? So if anything, things don't get called, things are done maliciously. You look at the ref.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, ref, where you? Things like that. Not heckling a ref, but
like let them know. Yeah. And I think there are kids who, for whatever reason, play a little bit more physical or some even
little
dirty,
kids,
Yeah, I can't say that, like, in high school I didn't, I would try to get dudes back who would hurt my friend or something.
Yeah,
put a hard pick on someone or someone put a hard pick on me. I'm like, oh, man.
I played basketball in 5th grade. That's all I did was enforce it, bro. I was terrible at basketball.
But the
crap out of someone.
I wasn't a great player, but I played a lot, so I played with some good players, and I had little things that I could be successful at that I took pride in. But man, sometimes you there's always like your star. And like he's too busy winning the games to worry about like fighting dudes.
Who's coming out?
Yeah, so like you got to do a little help him out. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah, man. Get that guy off his back.
Yeah, So
that's a good tactic too, right? They start worrying about you instead of the guy that's actually killing, you know what I mean? Because they're forget this guy. I'm gonna fight him.
It's funny, but I think it's
crazy.
A benefit.
I need to do something real quick. I need to plug in
the laptop. All right, cool. So we're good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now we can wrap up soon, but
so good. I have some questions for you.
Yeah. Oh, you got questions for me?
Yeah. So I know a lot of what we did in Bacolod before training, after training, during training sometimes was coffee based.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel the coffee in the Bay Area is compared to what you had back there?
Well, I don't know why. Like when I moved to Bacolod, I started drinking coffee. It was just so easy to do coffee meetings, One thing I like about Philippines, the coffee, I enjoy the coffee there, and it's not expensive.
Yep.
They figured it out. They figured out how to do their native thing, and it's good.
Yep.
Everybody, there is cheap coffee out there, but 3-in-1. It's not really. I'll tell you a funny story about that. Sidetrack. So after you guys went home and I went to Manila.
Yep.
So I met up with my buddy, who's the head of our foundation. He's a doctor, and he was doing not a seminar, but like a talk, whatever, at Philippine General Hospital, right? And so he gets there, and some guys got these wounds. There's several people with wounds, and they kept putting 3-in-1 coffee in their wounds, right? So he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? He's like, well, they told us, like, if you put coffee in your wound, it's good for it, and things like that. And he's like, yeah, but there ain't no coffee in that. Sugar and cream. Yeah. It's like 1% coffee, and they're putting 3-in-1 instant coffee in their wound. But anyway, so you got from 3-in-1 to good native coffee to a few of these specialty shops that have, good roasting and stuff.
Yeah.
But here, I mean, I don't know, there's a spot here called Phil's, right?
Yeah.
They have like several of them around, and they're starting to branch out in like LA too. Man, that's like my go-to.
Yeah.
It's good.
You can do $5 for.
Well, I don't like to. So
2,500 pesos.
Yeah. Hey, take it easy. 2,500. That's 50 bucks. That's 2,500.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 250.
So
yeah, you're right.
So
you ever tried that experiment with the cat one? Where the cat eats it and then...
they supposedly someone gave us some of that in with my buddy, Dr. Buddy with N2L, and I don't know if we didn't make it right or what. I'm just like, it was alright, or it might not have been it wasn't the beans, it was already ground for us.
Yeah.
So, it could have been like.
Is it supposed to taste amazing, or is it just something that's like, different and unique? Cause
the dude who gave us the stuff was telling me that like he went to some convention and he smelled some great thing, and so he had to go over there, and it was expensive, but he had to have it, and it was the best thing. And I was like, maybe if we go to the source,
Yeah.
So I can't say I've had the real. I have had something that they told me was it, and I wasn't so impressed, but I could have made it wrong because I did make it myself. But here, like, that's the thing that kills me though, is that you go from like the price we can spend in Bacolod for good coffee to here. So, I mean, what I usually do with the Phil's coffee is I buy a bag over there. I buy a bag over there, and then I just grind it up myself and make it myself. And it's good. But then also, that same buddy that I work with, he is an awesome dude. But he's like super into like, he'd be baking his own bread, making his own beer, stuff like that, right? So he's like one of those all-out guys, right? So he was like, "Yo, John, you want to do coffee? I roast my own coffee, right?" So he sent me this starter pack of like, it's a popcorn popper, right? A stovetop popcorn popper, like a
like
pot.
Old school,
and then you flip it or whatever, and so you just drill a hole and you put a thermometer in there. And so I've been like, and you turn the thing and it turns the stuff like as it was popping popcorn, but you put green beans, coffee beans in there, and you roast it yourself.
Yeah.
So they sent me like 8 1-pound bags of different kinds of coffee. So what I've been doing is taking like the ones I think I won't like and starting with that and trying to do them.
Testing.
Yeah. So it's fun, and it's just fun to do, and sometimes it turns out good, sometimes, but I just drink it. So I've been able to save money that way. Yeah. But every now and then, like today, Marsha and I went to Phil's and stuff like that. And it is. It's hard to like.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, it's $5. I mean, it's $4.75. But hey, this is what I do. You bring your own cup, and you pay for a small $3.75. But then you pay with your phone, and then they turn the thing, sir, tip.
I know.
What? Oh, man.
And then you're like, all right. Yeah.
But
yeah, dude. Yeah. It's tough. Like, we were drinking at least 2-3 cups out a day,
Yeah.
And here I get a cup before work. Mm-hmm. And sometimes work's going rough, so I need another cup.
One, yeah.
So and even that, I get just regular black coffee, a small one.
Yeah, you like your black.
It's still $3 for a small cup of coffee, man.
It is. I think that's another reason. Like I got like a French press at home, and then I got one of these little pour over deals, and so I'm messing with it. I'm messing with it partly because. Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I want to save, and I want to make my own if I can, and just so I'll make it for my wife, and you got those whatever little to-go cup things, little mini thermoses, but yeah, it's definitely. So here that makes sense. Over there, it's easier for me to be like 40 pesos.
For sure.
But
sure. Get a little pastry next to something.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
it's just funny how. literally every time after we ate, it was coffee.
Yeah.
No matter what time, like, oh, it's,
Yeah.
after the fights, it's 1 a.m. and we ate, and then, hey, you want to grab coffee?
Yeah, yeah.
We just ate breakfast, had coffee at breakfast, but hey, you want to go grab coffee before training?
The thing that's another, bringing it back around as we wrap up, I mean, over there, that's actually what I like, is I got into coffee because people always want to hang out.
It's like a social, yeah. Exactly.
And you're if you're not too far away from each other, people just get a text, be like, oh, where are you at? Oh, we're going to have coffee.
Yep.
Oh, where are you going? All right. And just, people can cruise out. I think I can meet you.
Yeah.
I think I can meet you. Yeah. And then even some, you'll go into training or somewhere. I can just meet for coffee, but then I got something to do and just do that thing. And I think that's, one thing I enjoy is it's the lifestyle over there is you do see the people that you hang out with a lot, and you do life with them. I mean, for us, we kind of, even outside of, within the jiu-jitsu, always do jiu-jitsu, but like there's several of us that are dads, Poppas, right? And our kids are about the same age, so we vacation together. We hang out, and
kids train together.
The kids train together. The ladies go out together, the guys go out together. We do it. And it's something that here it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
Regular. You have all these things like we talked about, whether it's kids stuff going on or just work. I mean, you commute to do a lot of things, both you and your wife, and that's one thing that I'm lucky that Marsha and I, that's one good thing here. We don't do that much, but when I lived down south in LA, 35 minutes to go to work at least, or whatever. You go where the job is or whatever it is, right? So that I think is like that Bacolod city lifestyle.
It's the pace too, right? It's like the pace of, and then it kind of relates to not as much, but similar to Hawaii for me too, right?
Yeah.
With the pace of everything, like things are still getting done, but they're getting done through chilling for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Or not always in a rush to go onto the next thing, or not. Okay, cool. I got 2 hours. I got to go run. I got to go. Whatever it may be, right?
And I think that's for me. It's something that works, but at the same time, like that. Sometimes I feel like I'm off out here because, from jiu-jitsu to everything, like just because I've been bad at adjusting. And I talk to some of my friends, like I got mentors and people I talk to, and they're like, hey man, you got to give yourself time or whatever. But and maybe that may very well be true, but at the same time, sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, I can't get this. I can't get this thing right. And
well, shit. Sometimes it might be you don't want to adjust back. You know what I mean?
Like, sometimes I'm thinking about
that.
Yeah. So,
and I think that's fair to say too. When it's that much different, right? The contrast of what it is significantly different, right?
But the thing is, though, I look this to the future where, like, I know there's stuff that, especially with the kids and things that I want to also do here. We talked about some stuff, but also that even we want to do over there, and so I feel like this is that season too, to like, hey, I got to figure this out because, it's not going to look the same as before where we're there the majority of the time.
Yeah.
We may be bringing folks over or like sharing people what we've experienced there with people here and vice versa. And there's opportunity in that, right? So I'm hoping that, we can adjust. And I think that's, again, this is about all those things, jiu-jitsu, fatherhood, whatever, living life, man, and adjusting to these things. And I think that's what, of course people say this stuff all the time, but like, I think that's the thing too that you can learn from jiu-jitsu is like, you adjust, and you work on something. Like you put yourself, this is the position I'm in, so I got to work on this.
Yep.
This is what I get to work on, even if don't like being in this position. this is my chance to work on these things. I'm getting smashed. All right, you got to figure out how to make space. You got to figure out how to live out this, maybe survive or whatever. But I don't want to be here, but
you got to figure it out.
Yeah, and that's going to help me.
Yep.
And
I think that, and there's no set step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, more concepts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So cool. I know I need to be doing something different, whatever it may be. Right? Jiu-jitsu or life. Right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily I have to do this and then I have to do that and then I have to, not a procedural based thing, but kind of.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And I think, you never want to be. I mean, I guess there's times that you can put. Well, structure is good, but sometimes you need it like just to get reset or something like that. But you can't live in that. Life doesn't work step 1, step 2, right?
Again, like you said, structure is definitely important in a lot of things, right? But it's life will pass us by if every day we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
absolutely,
right?
And you're not flexible.
We know we need to get 1 through 7 done, but how we do it is up to us, right?
And it also. Life might not let you do 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
He might give you 3s right here. You better make it happen.
Kid might get sick.
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
It could be anything. Car breaks down. Anything.
I mean, that's the thing too. So
JoJo forgets to pick you up. Yeah. It could be anything.
But he's got to do a tournament. Nah, but yeah, man. Hey, this is cool, man. I wish we had done more. I mean, I'll be back here in 3 weeks, but hopefully we can. I'm gonna run some more. We'll do some more podcasts.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get some regular stuff going on. I got some more equipment coming in, so we'll be set here.
Yeah.
We should be all set up. Yeah, we'll be good to go and try to get a lot more content out there, right? Just hanging out, chilling, and being able to talk on this.
And then get some other, get Sean in here or something,
for sure.
Or whoever. I mean, it would be good. It'd be fun. Yeah. But yeah, man. So if you guys are listening out there. This is Supreme Grappling and the Lone Poppa.
Yep. DC Poppa.
DC, we're the DC. We're the DC Poppa right now. So, but yeah, man.
Hopefully I'll be out there late June is what we're looking at.
Okay, that's the next.
That's the next time. If you guys are around, make the wise choice and come hang out.
Make the wise choice. We're going to put together some seminars, some other just training.
Just chill, training, and then, get to hang out and vacation a bit too.
All right.
Until next time.
Out.
Yes, sir.
If you want to follow BC Poppas Podcast on social media, we have a brand new Instagram account called BC Poppas. You can also follow BC Marshall and see what's happening in Bacolod City. Find out about where the good coffee spots are, where the good dessert spots are, and what we're doing to teach leadership through Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The BC Poppas podcast is also brought to you by the Nothing to Lose Foundation, inspiring our leaders of the next generation. If you'd like to volunteer with the Nothing to Lose Foundation and know more about what we're doing here in the Philippines and in the United States, look at our website at n2lfoundation.com. You can also find us on Facebook at N2L Foundation and Instagram at N2L Foundation.